Nickel. Watch this frame back. Watch this frame here if you're okay. Yep, no, not only you. You said easy day. What that?
Busy? Bro, what up?
What's good, man?
Okay, sir.
Everything. Cool, eh?
So that's why they constant, eh? Tu vois la business, la constante, eh? You okay?
No, I don't steal.
Boys, you okay?
It's all against that again.
You can do.
No, I don't steal. Fashion is everyone at this time.
He's making up you get this. Smart. Yeah, come down for me.
I see when I turn on one more, I sneeze and then we can ask for me. That's it, I feel like $5 fan AC.
I mean, I don't use AC. Fan, no. AC now, the 24-hour.
Sneeze to it. Man, it's dope.
Bash me one ticket there for one show, but for the one right show. Then I'm banned. But not call me back on that.
You get an army too?
No, MB is supposed to call me late. Forget about 200 of it. I don't know that show.
You go for the managing this idea. I say, go for the managing.
I should go.
Much time today.
Leo, what are you for hits the question?
What I was that with?
Yeah.
Yes, because one uses camera
One person.
So you why you start with the camera and the books, and then start
Okay, we'll go
with
to
start with
the
Grizzly first.
crowd reason.
Okay, start with the cow.
Yes.
Grizzly. Cow first. Yeah, but we camera you go so that's where we send the angle.
Okay.
No, if you see go so you go so. So for me I cancel.
Was born in Bani Hashim Lane in Mecca on Monday, the night of Rabi Awal, the same year of the elephant event, and 30 years of the reign of his 500 compiled by
And yes, welcome back. This is the Star Good Morning Show. Like I said, I've also been joined in the studio by one of our superstar, Cal Denero, the king. He's here in the studio. Good morning, Cal, and welcome.
Good morning, good morning.
And yeah, he's here to talk about his album launching, his 10th album, actually. Now, Cal, before we talk about your album release, you've carved a niche for yourself in the music world. How have you been able to manage that?
Well, it's a lot of things, it's perseverance, being resilient, it was not an easy task, and I just feel like it was never forced, like how some artists are really like just forcing it. Something that's naturally built in you, it's like drinking water, you always just gotta live with it. So music has been that kind of thing to me, like it's like a therapy to me when I'm stressed, when I'm going through a situation, when I'm feeling a certain way. The only way I can express myself better is through music. So that has been my albums all through the years, you know. If I'm going through a divorce or I'm in love with somebody or I see injustice, I always tend to like drive back to my music and put it in there.
So we have different genres of music. Why did you decide to choose hip hop?
Because you know, hip hop is one of the genres that's very diverse. It's not like R&B where you just talk about relationship. Reggae music, you talk about Rasta, righteousness, you know, liberty, that kind of thing. African music just make you dance. Hip hop music does all of these things in one. You know what I mean? You can talk about making people dance. You can talk about relationships. You can talk about injustice, all in one in hip hop. And you know, like growing up, we always kind of like in school, I would like to tease my friends, and my friends would tease me back. That's accepted in hip hop. I can talk about the other rapper. He can talk about me. There's no other kind of music that you do that. It's taboo if you do that in like R&B or reggae. They call you Babylon. Like you can't sing against the next artist. But in hip hop, it's accepted, where you can tease the next man and he can tease you. So it's like I love the freedom of it.
Yeah, according to research, you started off with the name Sweet Cow, and then now Cow the Nero King and all that. So why the changes?
Like the Snoop Cow years, I was actually imitating Snoop Dogg because that's who inspired me to rap. You know, I used to love the Dog Pound, the Chronic, the Death Row era. So, but then, rest in peace to Doss. I don't know if you ever heard of Doss. Doss was like my mentor growing up when I used to be at St. Edwards. I would leave St. Edwards and go hang out with Doss at Side Street. He had like a little studio where all the rappers that around that time, me, YOK7, we would go there and freestyle. And he would be making beats through the table and beatbox and stuff. So one day he asked me, he said, why Snoop Cow? Why, you know, why you have a cow pound? Cow don't have pound. I didn't even know that. You know, it's only dogs have a pound. So you have to be original cow. So then I thought about it. I was like, that's true. Let me just maintain the cow. Instead of C-O-W, just make it K-A-O and add on De Niro to it. You know?
So you describe yourself as the king of Freetown or the king of people. Why is that so?
Well, the fans, I guess, gave me that title. I didn't give it to myself. You know, I dropped a mixtape with that title, mixtape album, and it stirred so much controversy at the time, and it just stuck with me. And I got that name at, there was a show at Quincy. There was parties then. I had a show there. It was less than 20 people. It was like my lowest, you know what I mean? And then I was feeling so down, but I still performed for the fans. So I was backstage, and one of the fans came out to take a picture with me. He was like, man, Kano, you're not the king of Freetown, man. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm going to use that. That's just how it came about.
So how many years now have you been in the game?
I can say at least 16 to 17 years, going strong. You know, my first album came out like around 2003 or 4, around that time, the Black Live for Life album.
So which of them would you describe as the most successful?
Well,
that bring you in the spotlight.
All of these albums has their like advantages and stuff. Stories from Freetown, I can see, is the breakthrough album because he had a song called Imona. You know, that was the first song I won the award with Premier Media, you know, Best Hip Hop Song. So that's the high, and I feel like the album inspired like a new generation of salon artists because the album had a song called Attire. After all those songs, you have songs from Dry Crew, We Still In CT. You know, that because I started that trend talking about hardship in Freetown, and then here comes Emerson. So stories from Freetown inspired a lot of like new artists that came with reality music, you know. And for me, my most successful economically, I would say, was the Back to My Roots album. Okay. You know, the one I had the Busy Signal collab on. You know, the stadium was very packed, and we made a lot of money at that time. So it was very, you know, the other albums are good too, like the Back to My Roots. The New Beginning was dope too. You know.
So before I go to the other guests, let's talk about your album, The Last King. This is your 10th album.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
It's a special album because, you know, not every artist
What
in
makes
Sierra
it
Leone,
special?
because not every artist in Africa in general can boast or brag about doing they're working on their 10th album. You know, most people give up, you know, like on their second album, third album, you know, they start getting tired, they're not excited no more. You know, I feel like me working on this project is very special to me because I want to transform the game to where people start respecting legacies. You know, right now they do award shows. There's not a moment where you hear people mention Dr. Olo. You You know, where you hear people talk about Kalenda or Amadou Kaba, all of these guys, you know, they just go down the drain. Nobody really pay attention to them. So I want to be that living person where, you know, people can turn back to him and be like, I want to be like him. You know, 10 albums, he's still going strong. He's still the talk of the town. He's still relevant, you know? So it's a very special
So this album, how many tracks?
I'm looking at least 17 to 18 tracks, you know? Like, I have more, but those are the ones I have.
Any collaboration?
Oh, yeah, tons of them. You know, I
Right.
have well, it's always good to cross-market, you know? When you feature somebody, he introduces you to his own market, his own fan base. You know, so like I just did a song with Runtown. You know, the single is titled Green Gold. It's a medical marijuana song, you know, for people that's, it's not about abusing marijuana, it's about the medicinal aspect of it. You know, so we just touched on that. And actually I'm looking forward to embracing and welcoming Runtown to Sierra Leone. So watch out for that. I have a bunch of other collabs. I have this song with another Gambian artist named Wisdom. Tell Me, it's a dope song. BUllzz Kamara in London in the UK is a Sierra Leonean rapper. We have a song called Streets on Fire. Del Vacuum is on the album. You know, I have another rapper in Guinea named King Ghetto. He's one of the like top hip hop artists over there. He represents a group called Silatiki. You know, so we have a song called Prove Am. It's a bunch of other people on the album.
Alright, continue to stay with us. He's the king of Freetown, the king of hip hop, as he said, Carl De Niro. Let me come over to my other guest, Samuel Kamara from Priority Solution. Good morning again, Samuel.
Good morning.
Before we talk about the Bash celebration, first of all, let's get to know what Priority Solution do.
Priority Solution is a 360 marketing communication company. We've been around for over 8 years, and we've been handling most of the big brands around, the likes of Orange, then it was Airtel. We managed those accounts, and DSTV and all. So many big accounts around that we managed.
Okay. Now, this birthday bash celebration, what's bring the inspiration? How did it start?
It all started when this small chillings around towns been happening, and you know there have been a lot of chaos. Let's see, people not ending their celebration nicely. They will come out with fight. They will come out somebody getting injured, and also, and you know, all these places, people of class want to mingle. They want to feel belong. They want to interact with these people, and most of these guys don't give them chance to do so. And you see, when it's come to birthday celebration, you want to have the best celebration ever. You want to let people know that, look, it's my birthday, I want to celebrate it in a grand style. So here we come in and say, look, instead of people scaring away to have their chillings, have their birthday celebrated in an open spot because of confusion or whatsoever, let's take it to a decent place. Let's bring them all in one location. So that is how come we've decided to do birthday bash, to make sure we're not just going to celebrate an individual, but everyone that is born in that particular month. So we decided to bring it as Radisson Blue, which is of more classy place than where in those little pubs and bars around.
So far, how has it been? How has people been turning up for it?
It's been good. The first edition was with the October Bonds at the Radisson Blue. It was a success. It was really great. People had great experience, because what we do is we make sure people take the experience home, because the experience is what matters more. When you go home, you feel it that, look, I went for a party celebration, I went for a birthday celebration, and it was good, you know. So we want to leave that feeling, and we believe that people really enjoy, because the feedback that we got from them was like, it was really great. And
does it bring a profit?
Yes, it is. We do business for profit. You know.
So this November Born Bash, how is it gonna be like?
You know, already it's going to be like a competition, because people already want to outstand the others. You know, when October people celebrated, people were like, wow, it was that kind of wow. They did what they had to do. They brought CJ Mark. They brought few musicians that really turned up the stage, and people cut their cakes and all. So November Bonds are saying, look, what they did was more. We're going to do more than them. So it's bringing the act of competition in it, celebrating in a grand style. So they want to outstand them. So this time, what they're gonna do is they've decided that the cake the last people did, the October Bond cut, they're gonna make sure this time theirs is gonna be bigger and more nicer. So it's like withstanding the others. So the last time we had few musicians. This time they've decided to bring in the likes of Comforter, the likes of Schwaibu, and all, you know, the young guys that are really like up there kicking their games and all. So it's like competition after competition, they want to outstand. And you see, November Bonds, they are legends. And you know what the legends do? You know, like Carl Dinero, he's a living legend, you know. So November Bonds, these are people that are living legends. And they always want to show that, look, this is the kind of people we are. We have to make our mark. We have to show people that we can celebrate in grand style. We can show that we are different. We are the legends. We've passed through the bossy stage. We've passed through the normal stage and all. So we've come to that part where people look up to us. So they really have to prove themselves. Most of them have gotten their tickets. They've gotten the stage ready. And we've gotten our music maker ready with the sound. Everybody is ready to come and make sure this November Born is bigger than ever celebrated. You know, the price is 30,000 for standard. If people want to get their ticket, the standard is 30,000. The VIP is 70,000, and the VVIP that comes with T-shirt of the month that you are born, that comes with also the cap, is 150.
And how can one get them?
The office that you can contact us is at 16 Wellington Street. That's where our office is. That's where you can get your ticket, your T-shirt, or whatsoever information that you want to get. Or either they can call my number, which is 078 259825.
Alright, continue to stay with us, Samuel Kamara. And remember, if you want to be part of the discussion, send us your comments on 086-103-500. We still do have another promising young star with us in the studio, Benjamin George Drizzly. Before going further, in everything you have a legend, and you have a legend sitting right beside you. Do you feel inspired?
Yeah, it's always that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, releasing Popcorn, was that the turning point for you?
Yeah, definitely. Well, for me, with relations to the public, because I had a turning point when I released my fourth mixtape, but that was more like an inner thing, like more like an inner transition. But then when I released Popcorn, that's when I introduced myself to the public. So
You're young, a promising star. What inspires your art?
Primarily it's change, the need for change. But I love music. That's another thing. Yeah. But then, as a young person, you know, it's not normal for people to just leave academics and just pursue music. So I think maybe that part was inspired by like the need for change, because then there needed to be something new. We needed something new, and I felt like that's a space we could capitalize on, take it.
So the kind of music you do, how can you describe it?
At this point in time, it's hard, but I just say I try to bring a little bit of myself and what's trending. So I can't just dumb it down and say it's just hip hop, although it's primarily rap, but then Afrobeats and a little bit of R&B and hip hop. It's all mixed up in there, but primarily I'm a rapper. Yeah, like how do you know?
Did it inspire you?
Yeah, so much. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about your.
Black Leo fan.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about your album. Is it your song Shukubla?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, so tell us about it.
So Shukubla is the first single of my EP. It's actually an EP, but Bash told me not to call it an EP because it has 10 albums. Yeah, and it has 10 songs on it. So Shukubla is.
Of course, the title Shukubla. Why Shukubla?
Yeah, so Shukubla is basically representing like the environment that inspires my art. So if we all know what's in a Shukubla, I don't know if we get Shukubla in our use, but like for me, the Shukubla is like a container where my grandma used to store vital things, you know, things that you can't really
I think
place.
the Creole people can relate.
Yeah, mostly. Like things that you can't really place their value on the cost, but what like how they help around like button, needle and thread. We can get all that in the inside. We should like coin, or we find any side around. So like then they basically they represent me environment things that were very important to me, but then I can't place the value on how much they cost.
Alright.
So yeah, so the Shukublai song is talking about all these environments, all these things happening around that inspires the art and things we see, things we go through.
So the live in concerts, how's it gonna be like?
It's going to be live. This is the 3rd edition, and yeah, like last year, we're always trying to make it better and bigger. So Ben 10 over 10 Live in Concert is a platform I created for myself and other members of my team to showcase live music.
Okay, let me come back over to, before we go to our next insight, to the king of hip-hop, Cal. Cal, many people would like to know what inspires you in writing. Do you write your songs for yourself? How did you get your inspiration?
Well, I can say that I love poetry. I used to write poems and write scripts and stuff. That's actually how I started. A lot of people don't know that. Like if you check with the first, like the comedians in the 90s, 95, 96, like Gebes, who was gonna do a movie before I went to the States. I was working with him, and I was into theater arts. So I write for people as well. I can write R&B songs. I've written a lot of R&B songs. I'm a rapper, but I can transcend into that. So I feel like it's just a natural gift from God. Like I used to like drawing, arts, and that kind of thing in school. Like when it comes to biology, I used to be the guy everybody comes to draw for them diagrams. So I got that at an early stage, and I always like to be creative. Like the young man here, I like the album title. That's creativity. Somebody that takes time, into putting something out. Like trying to go against the norm. Don't just do the simple things. You have to think about other ways of, attracting attention. So I've always been that kind of person, that likes to be creative.
So Black Leo, as we know, it has a whole huge fan base.
Thank you.
Do you think your music has influence in the youth of our country?
Well, some kind of way. I hope it's positive influence, because I try to stay positive, even though there's been bumps on the road, you know what I mean? Like, I always try to like steer my fans, to the right direction, and you know what I mean? Like for the betterment of their own, self-being. I mean, the music I make is always about like uplifting their, like, because it's very tough in Sierra Leone, it's very tough in Africa. But I think the message that they get from Caldenero is this guy is in America, but he still can relate with our struggle. He still raps like he eats Gary in the morning. You know what I mean? So I think that goes a long way. So my fans can relate to that. And it's universal. It's a universal thing in Sierra Leone, in Africa. Everybody's going through the struggle. So I never deviate too far from that. And that's how the fans still stick to me.
Yeah. Like we all know, hip-hop is getting old in Sierra Leone. And we all know about the beefing thing and all that. What's your experience so far?
Well, it's very competitive, Hip-hop music is competition. If you don't have a thick skin, it's not for you. The only thing I would compare to hip-hop music is maybe politics. That's where people come. It's very brutal. Like for me to like last this long in hip-hop, everybody know the history here in Sierra Leone. It's been Dry Crew versus Black Leo. It's been Noble Squad versus Black Leo. It's been RFM versus Black Leo. Black Leo's been the team that has been versus everybody. Because like it became a time in salon music where if you want to get notoriety or you want to get noticed or you want people to really put you up there, you have to go against Black Leo. You have no choice, So some rappers fell for it and took that route. But you have brothers like him that shows me respect every time he see me and still do his thing and he's still getting notoriety on his own. But some that are weak just feel like, okay, at the end parties, and so I will get attention, And it has never been too good for them.
Do you feel threats in your hip-hop career? Like someone is going to challenge you? Do you feel threatened?
I mean, I have self-confidence, That's one thing that I have. That's why it hurts me when people say Badat. Because the way I'm so self-confident in myself I don't feel threatened about nobody. I don't feel bothered about nobody because I know what I'm doing is good. You know, like so the only person that feels threatened is somebody that don't feel self-reliant, somebody that don't think that they're good at what they're doing. You know, but if you have that self-reliance in you, you don't feel threatened about nobody. Even though the fans might be in disarray, because fans will like anything. You know, people here in Sierra Leone supported Folie Sanko, so you can tell Sierra Leoneans will support anything. You know, so I just look at it like, as long as you believe in yourself, the truth will come out. The real talent will come out. People will get to judge who is really talented or who is just faking it. You know, some people live through a facade. You know, they put a gimmick and they survive through it. You know, it's like that.
So, you are the king of hip hop, as you said. How would you react if someone wants to challenge that position?
Well, the past record have showed how I reacted to the past 4
How
years.
did you react?
Right now, I will not react the same way. It's a change of time. You know, I'm 38 now, going to 39. So I have priorities that I don't have too much to prove no more. Even though I still have to keep myself, you know, on point. You know, because I still have to flex with the Drizzy Leaks. You know what I'm saying? The other artists coming up doing hip hop. So you still have to show that lyrically you're still there. But there's nothing I have to prove no more. It's known, you know. It's written in stone. You know, people heard the tracks against Banja and them. They heard the tracks against Yoke 7. They heard the tracks against LA and them. So I've proven myself countless times. I think even the rappers don't come at me no more. They kind of put me in a different level.
So as of now, what's your relationship with other artists, especially the hip hop artists?
Very great. You know, I've just worked with a new artist named Kai. He did a song called Fiti Icona. He reached out, you know, and I jumped on the song just to show that I can collaborate and work with other people. Collabo, people thought we had issues. You know, he had a song called 5-0. He reached out, I jumped on the track. You know, so I'm always open to work with
What about Ellie? Do you have a good relationship with him?
Actually, I was trying to get him on the album, you know. I reached out to him. I reached out to him. Like, let's do a song, let's work. But I don't know, he never came through. But I can't fault him for anything. He has his own reasons. So maybe next time.
Well, we shall be back, and when we come back, we shall talk more about the Last King album and many other things. It is the Star Good Morning Show. Let's go for another news item. As young entrepreneurs get into the ring to pitch their ideas for post-revenue business, the Global Entrepreneurship Network Sierra Leone, as a way to celebrate the Global Entrepreneurship Week 2018, has organized a pitch night and also an expo of women in business at the British Council Road, Tower Hill in Freetown. Abubakar Cham reports. In voice like a coach. The mic there, fair.
Yes.
That's yeah.
That's just saying.
That's the night. Alright.
What's the drama can do?
Long. That's me a gospel artist.
Chancy, now for count down for me. The first one, you know, be count down, you just switch over.
And they take few messages.
Few messages.
Newspaper now they round up with after they get started.
Newspaper now they round up with. Then count
Yeah,
down for
but they
me.
can round up.
Leo, what are the police for you?
Nah, Abdul Rahman.
So how did show the camera?
Oh, we on it, man. You know, pushing. Somebody just dropped.
Yeah.
Just to try for rounds, media rounds right now.
I like the last film call we do about that Saturday shit.
Right,
It's cool.
right. Yeah, yeah.
I bet
yeah.
we'll go back. at them because
Yeah.
one of the things that we really want to take another tune.
Yeah, they really, they came up with
Yeah.
that, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
See, these are the things I have to go through just to do a show. Like every time I have to go through things like this. No other artist need to go through things like that.
You know, so they do again when we do the Emerson show.
They do, huh?
You know, them
But that one was a little settled. You don't see them kambamba with it. Maybe you know them kambamba with it like. Ever see you a quiet one they after they attack.
yeah, the attack them, yes.
Me, they came out.
Yeah.
Before they show, they like, we should not upload this. You know, to that, so no, they win fans. So they came out with strategies like.
Or like the cleaning.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
shit.
I think that need to limit so much.
They use them for they pass them around, but it was good that cow do one way they always say for the cleaning we get bosses we go take people home to the 10 and this.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And now your tickets that you pass for go home.
That's it.
You know, I got that from local governments.
So
You know,
we ease that like
Yeah,
You
this-
get free transportation.
Yeah, well, not to free transportation. There's buses you
Buses,
don't pay,
then they
but
will
they will
pay
be
about-
available. We will try to talk to the Okada guys then too, the Keke guys then.
Tell us if
They
this
didn't
is
come
not
out.
long, they didn't cut down.
They didn't come out.
You don't have much time.
so you foresee I'm back now.
Yeah, that's what
By
I'm
Saturday,
about to get
next
to.
I don't get much time. Then count down for it.
Who is it?
Exactly. It's the camera.
Yo, hey, BUllzz. What's up, bro?
How much minutes left?
Yeah.
1 minute.
No for fully when they come on. Now last word anymore now.
Yeah, we did.
Go find me with 15 man.
Thank you so very much, Abubakar Sham. And now let's take a few of your messages. Because of time, we can't take enough. This one reads, success all the way to you, Cardinal. It's coming from Gavino at Waterloo. November 30th, Laxonville will be there, showing some love to King Cow. And don't forget December 1st, Paradise City with Drizzle. Salon music must go. Expect business. This one is from Laxon. The last one I will take for today. Welcome to the King of Freetown, Caldonero, from Fab of KTR. Lots of messages. I have the Leo team for life. There will be no fighting on that day. This one is from Gentility and KTR. Well, those are the messages I can take for this edition. Let me wrap up with my guest. I'll go to you, Drizzly. What are we expecting? What are we expecting from you?
Yeah, a good album. More than a good album, actually. I actually believe in this one because it's my first. And on the show, of course, we are trying, like I said earlier, we're trying to make it bigger and better. So yeah, and we've been working, me and my band, we've been working hard on it, Freetown on Court. Yeah, well, I think we're coming with something great, something people would love to witness, something entertaining.
Message to your fans?
Yeah, I just want you guys to continue supporting, and okay, I want to show appreciation. I really appreciate how my fans have been coming out for me quite recently. I mean, at Echo Fest, I was blown away by the performance of the crowd, you know. Like, I just appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you guys come out on December 1st Paradise City, just 35,000 units. Come out and support, come out and enjoy yourself, come out and get the album. And yeah, let's spread Sierra Leone music all around the
Thank
place.
you. Before we come to Carl, Samuel Kamara, what will be your closing quotes?
I want everyone to make sure they get their tickets as early as possible, so we don't go stand in queues for getting your ticket during the day. So the 24th December, the 24th of November is the date. This coming Saturday is the date. Radisson Blue Garden. If you want to get your ticket, come to 16 Wellington Street. That's where our office is, or you call 078-259825 to get your ticket.
Yes, Samuel Kamara from Priority Solution. And finally, the legend, Carl Dinero. Any plans to go beyond borders?
Definitely. There's plans for Lagos and probably Nairobi, hopefully soon after the show. I don't want to go too deep into that, but I think this album is beyond Sierra Leone. It has the potential. There's great music in it, and I'm looking forward to explore new waters. So watch out for that.
So your album launching, what should people expect? What should your fans expect from you?
Well, I want them to expect a celebration event. We all come in to celebrate this career of Carl Dinero. That's been through so much. Like the highs and the lows, the hit songs, the drama, and they will get to see me performing with other artists that I've collaborated with in the past. There's gonna be surprises. I just want all the fans to know, and don't be panicked about all the propaganda that's going around about people saying how will they get back home because there's cleaning day on Saturday. We now have news for them. There's going to be bosses at the stadium after 4 a.m. because this show is going to start at 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Finish. Nothing after that. So right after that, you have 3 hours to make it home. And even if you get caught up on your way going home, you will use your Carl Dinero ticket, the ticket you bought at the stadium, to get home. That's your pass. Any military personnel you come across or police, you can show them that I'm coming from the Carl Dinero show and you're free to go home. So I don't want nobody to deter y'all. It's music coming. Shout out to Orange, for being our sponsors. Shout out to Priority for being linked with the show as well. God bless Black Leo. God bless Sierra Leone. Much love.
What's your ticket's price for the show?
It's 15,000 leons open stand, 50 covered, 100 presidential, and 75 stage area.
Okay, I wish you all the best, Carl Dinero. And because of time, we can't bring you our newspaper review. Let's just go into sport. Sports not it?
Wait.
We'll have 2 minutes left. So what's on the place now?
Entertainment.
This Wednesday.
Yeah, I can talk
Nice.
So let's
Thanks for hosting us.
we have to take a picture with you.
All right.
Oh, well, just look, yeah?
Bro,
That's right, man.
hello, it's a war, we're still fighting it. Never go.
The king.
I don't get it. It's not very fresh. You get it. Stick to one and then stick to it.
But we're less than a week, and we're going to see this soon.
So the trailer about
entertainment.
Nice.
Yeah. Stand by.
Carl,
Come here.
you can just
Oh,
come
okay,
over
sorry.
your camera.
Come.
Just one more thing.
Can kill with camera. Wait. All we give. Send all.
So yeah, the way we talk, so you watch so much. It's like Al Jazeera walk down.
Stand by, watch him scream around up.
And that's a spice of entertainment from our entertainment reporter, Mohamed Bashiru. Thank you, Bash. That's it for today. We shall be back tomorrow with another edition. Thank you for watching. Do have a blessed day. I am Leonora Jawara. Okay.
I'm busy only.
Yeah. Kind of see that.
Okay.
Papa,
Eh?
BUllzz Kamara.
You're jealous. What are you jealous of?
Yeah. I'm jealous of
What's
this.
that?
Yes, so, what do I say? Okay.
I thought we take it in jazz.
No, I'm not recording.
It's not telephone or phone, not a phone.
Big phone. Okay, last enough for you. Yeah?
This started the land.
Yeah, I can take a short answer now.
No, it's not the land.
Sammy, left you senior man.
Gospel artist. Gospel artist. Watch the sound.
Okay.
Okay, now we use the sound.
Sure, okay. The king. Go get this. Shoot that chair.
So, who am I?
So I'm just saying,
You want
start.
1, 2 flow,
Okay.
we enter it.
No,
Start.
started,
The
yeah.
channel, channel 21.